Okay. Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to day 14. Holy cow, 40-day yoga challenge. My name is Sadhana, and welcome if this is your first day. Please know that this 40-day yoga challenge does not have to be done sequentially. You can skip through the days. You can start today as your first day. And then when you have time available, go ahead and go back to day one. I am offering different postures on different days. Some days I am referring to other days, but most days I'm trying to keep each of the videos in as their own component so that you can do just that. So you can join in at any point. And this is a practice that I am doing my best to make accessible for every body. And if you have a particular condition, particular injuries, body shape, size, limitations, from chronic illness, or physically you are restricted in some way, please contact me. Let me know, and I can accommodate pretty much any of these shapes to have the same medicine as with the instructions I'm giving in this video. Okay, so I'm here for you for these 40 days so we can really dive deep into this restorative practice. It's such a beautiful, beautiful practice, and today I have a very special offering for you. We are going to do chakra shuddhi. Chakra shuddhi is I got distracted. I'm looking outside the window. There's a bunch of kids walking by. It's a beautiful day. Oh, I will come back. So we're going to do, and I'll tell you what that is. Today is Victoria Day in Canada. And so everybody's out in their gardens, and it's just really kind of, everything's alive outside my window. So happy Victoria Day to the Canadians. And I'm not sure if this is celebrated in other countries as well today too, but it is a statutory holiday here. So chakra shuddhi is purification of the chakras. And the chakra shuddhi that I will lead you through today is a guided meditation. It is very much a level 1 basic entry chakra shuddhi. So there should be no contraindications for this. All you do is come into the shape, which I will describe in a moment, cover yourself up with a blanket and listen to my voice. All right. And depending on how this series goes, I may offer chakra shuddhi level 2, but we'll see what happens. Okay. So today I decided, because I was doing chakra shuddhi, that I was going to choose a deck that had a fairly had a deeper connection to the yogic teachings. And so today I'm using the Land Sky Oracle by Teresa Hutch, which is an oracle deck. It's a sister deck to the White Sage Tarot. And this deck is based on the 8 limbs of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And I have done, I've definitely done a walkthrough of this on my channel if you want to see the deck. Yeah, so close your eyes and take a deep breath. And if there is any particular aspect of the Yoga Sutras that I should highlight, that everyone would benefit from in this particular meditation today, then let this card reveal that, and I will try to weave that teaching in as well too. Soften your body. Have you all found your word? Keep working on it. Sometimes it takes a while to reveal itself. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have asked everyone to find a word that helps you to let go. Soften. All right. Okay, so this card is the what do I want to say? It's like chapter title card. It's YAMA. So there's 5 yamas in the Yoga Sutras, in the practice of yoga, which is the first limb of yoga. And usually in the West, we begin with the asana practice, with the physical practice. And some of the sages actually are really in accordance with that. That is the best way to get into the practice of yoga, is through the physical practice. And so I'll talk a little bit about the yamas once I get you into relaxation and take you into this posture. Yeah, so these are 5 pretty basic yogic principles. Some of them you may be familiar with, not in their Sanskrit terms, but definitely as far as principles go. So we'll talk about the yamas in a moment. I'm going to give you 2 options. If you would rather sit because you're a little bit tired and you think you're going to fall asleep, then come into a comfortable seat to make sure that your knees feel supported, your hips feel supported. Try to get your knees below your hips, and you want to make sure your spine is erect. Otherwise, come down to your mat, and I'm going to take you into supported shavasana. And I was playing around with this before I went live. And there's a few different adjustments that you want to make. Excuse me. You do need a couple of yoga blocks for this. If you don't have yoga blocks, then you can improvise, use bolsters, cushions. You can also roll up like a throw pillow and make a small bolster here. This is the head. This is the upper back, the shoulder blades. And I'm going to put this one into the mix today. When I came down into Shavasana, my body is tired. I've been doing a lot of gardening and my low back wanted to be elevated. And so I'm going to show you what I did with this small cushion as well too. When you're coming down into supported Shavasana, it can be a little awkward to get the blocks in the right place when you're by yourself. So what I suggest you do, I'm not going to use the bolster under the knees today. I want to focus on the upper back. So have your hands behind you. Now the bolster is on the block is on the lowest height. I'm coming down to my elbows and placing the block at the mid back. So it is a little bit, just the base of the rib cage. I'm going to move it up just a little bit. There we go. I've got my soles of the feet on the floor. And this one, you may want higher. You may want it in the second position, depending on how you're feeling. And so if you're feeling really open today, you also may want to turn the block at the upper back into the second position as well too. So that's definitely an option. Soles of the feet are on the mat. Just allow the upper body to settle into the blocks. So here you have a gentle heart opening. The block should not be digging into your shoulder blades. If it is, you could put a blanket over it or just slightly adjust it. The foam blocks are, of course, a lot gentler than the cork blocks or a book. So nice, gentle heart opening. And when you feel ready, you can just relax your arms and begin to extend your feet. Now you may want to come out of this and just adjust. So, and I'm still feeling this way. My body is tired from the gardening I've been doing and various other things. I've been quite active this week. So what intuitively feels really right for me now is to raise my hips up and just very gently elevate the hips with this low cushion. And this could be a blanket, could be a low cushion. And this is just perfect, absolutely perfect for me. If you really, really wanted to chill out, the bolster could also go underneath the knees. But with the hips slightly elevated, like we did, I think it was the very first day where we did the that was the second day, the 3 blanket roll. What's happening here with the hips slightly elevated is the hips are also spilling to the outside, and I'm getting a little bit of a pelvic opening here too, which feels really nice in my low back. And so this supported Shavasana is a wonderful posture to hang out in at any time, really. End of the day, end of the yoga practice, during a meditation. Take some deep breaths. And if you're still mucking around with your blocks and your blankets, do your best to come down to your back as soon as possible. Come into your breath. And I would encourage you, even if you're quite warm, to cover yourself up with a thin blanket. The body temperature does tend to drop when you are lying still for an extended period of time. Now, I did not front load any of the chakra points or the seed sounds, the beach mantras for the chakras. So this is, like I said, a beginner level chakra purification. And we will begin with the third eye chakra, the Agnya chakra. So just focus on the breath in the nose. Be aware of both nostrils. And also be aware of the eyebrows center. And draw the breath, the inhale breath, all the way up to the eyebrow center. And then witness the exhale breath move from the eyebrow center out both nostrils. And just do that a couple of times. This is called prana shuddhi, purification of the pranas. With awareness of breath in the nose, drawing the inhale up the nostrils to the third eye, and then exhaling from the eyebrow center out the nostrils. And then just allow the breath to flow in its own natural way. Still the internal gaze at the eyebrow center. And be aware of your ears. And I'm saying that just for a reference point. From your eyebrow center, draw a line straight back into your brain, about as far as the ears. We're moving towards the pineal gland. And perhaps if you say the word pineal gland to yourself, just by identifying it will light up. And so anatomically, we are directly below the crown of the head, the fontanelle, the crown chakra, and directly back from the eyebrow center, about halfway into the brain, about at the level of the ears, pineal gland. This is the point of the third eye internally in the body. The frontal point is at between the eyebrows. The internal point is at the pineal gland. Okay, so when you inhale, draw the breath from the frontal point between the eyebrows toward the pineal gland, center of the brain. And as you exhale, move your awareness from the pineal gland to the frontal point at the third eye. So the breath is moving from this point here back into the head, about to here, and then back out. So the breath, if you're lying down on your back, is moving in a vertical line from your eyebrow center to your pineal gland as you breathe in, from your pineal gland to your eyebrow center as you breathe out. And just continue with that awareness. Tracing that line, eyebrow center to pineal gland, and then back up again. We're going to add a mantra for each of these points. The mantra here is Om. And you can say it just as it's often written with two letters, O-M, or you can expand the sound in a more Sanskrit way to Aum, A-U-M. Aum. Silently repeating Om as you breathe in, tracing the line back to the pineal gland, exhaling from the pineal gland to the eyebrow center, Om. So you're breathing, you're tracing the line, and you're silently repeating Om as you inhale and Om as you exhale. So I'm going to leave you for a few breaths just to practice that. And then release the mantra Om. Release the tracing of the breath from the third eye to the pineal gland. And take your awareness down to your perineum. We're going to go down to the root chakra. In men, the root chakra in the male body is at the perineum. So behind the scrotum on the perineum. Women, it's higher up. It's at the level of the cervix at the back. Okay, so anatomically, a different focal point for men and for women. Take your awareness down to the root now, to the root chakra, Muladhara chakra, the element of earth. Focusing either on your perineum or the back of the cervix. You may wish to slightly engage as you inhale and soften as you exhale. This is entirely optional. Focusing on the perineum. If you're a guy, If you're a woman, it is a little bit higher up on the back of the cervix. Option to slightly engage, contract with your inhale breath, and soften with your exhale breath. The mantra for Muladhara chakra, for the root chakra, is LUM, with an L, LUM. As you inhale, focusing on the root chakra, you can inhale and silently repeat LUM. Exhale, LUM. So there's lots going on. You're focusing on a physical point in the body. You may or may not be engaging, contracting and relaxing with breath, and moving the mantra with the breath. Silently repeating LUM as you inhale, LUM as you exhale. I'll leave you in silence just to practice this a few times. Release the mantra LUM. Release the awareness at the Muladhara chakra. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. We'll move now to Swadhisthana, to the sacral chakra, the second chakra, the area of the pubic bone. And like we did with the third eye, we're going to trace a line from the center of the pubic bone towards the spine. So we're going to move back towards the spine. So you may wish to stick a finger underneath your seat. For some people, it's very challenging to draw a vertical line forward and back. So from the pubic bone, drawing a vertical line back towards the spine on the inhale breath. On the exhale breath, from the spine to the pubic bone. The mantra for the Swadhisthana chakra is VAM, with a V. I think we've done that one before. So with the breath, inhaling from the frontal point to the spine, exhaling from the spine to the frontal point. And if you choose to add the mantra is VAM. Inhaling VAM, exhaling VAM. The element here is water. Release the mantra. Release the awareness at the pubic bone. Take a big breath in and out. Move the awareness to the navel center. And if you need to physically find your anatomical point, you can do that. And again, we're going to trace a line back towards the spine. So anatomical reference point is the navel center. And then drawing a line back towards the spine. Vertical line if you're lying down. Horizontal line if you're seated. Inhaling from the frontal point to the spine. Exhaling, spine to frontal point. The mantra here is Ram with an R. So the Sanskrit R is a little softer, slightly rolled. So if that's challenging for you, you can say Ram. Otherwise, it's Ram, Ram. Inhaling Ram, exhaling Ram. Focus on the solar plexus, specifically navel center to spine, straight line going back and forth. Release the mantra, Ram. Release the awareness here at the navel center. Take a big breath in and out. Now we come up. It's quite a jump here up to the sternum, the energetic heart center. And the block, if you have a block or a bolster, is pressing onto the back of the heart space. So this one will be easier because you've got pressure here. So you can draw a line from the energetic heart center to the spine. So from sternum to spine, exhaling spine to sternum. And if these lines are difficult to trace, never mind, it's a practice. And you're just focusing on the heart center, center of the physical body. The mantra for the heart space is YAM with a Y. Inhaling YAM, front to back. Exhaling YAM, back to front. And then release YAM, release the mantra YAM, release the awareness of the heart space. Take a big breath in and out. And now we move to the throat. So the line here is a lot shorter. And begin to trace from the frontal point on the throat to the back of the neck, glow on the neck. And sorry, I did not mention the element for each of the chakras. For the throat, it's ether. And the mantra for the throat is hum with an H. Hum, as if you were humming. Hum, inhale, hum. Exhale, hum. Really important to grab your journal today when we're done and just, there's certain sensations coming up at any of these points or random thoughts, to write them down as soon as possible. Release the mantra hum, release the awareness at the throat, and come back to the eyebrow center, to the third eye chakra. And just still your gaze. Just still the gaze at the third eye chakra at the frontal point. And you can fill this space with the mantra Om. And here we experience all of the elements. And I'll go over the elements again at the end. Okay, so release the mantra Om. Bring your arms a little closer to the body if they're extended. Very slowly guide the soles of the feet to the floor, to the mat. Bend your knees. When you feel ready, you can raise the hips if you place something underneath your low back. And then you can just roll to a side and remove the blocks. And I encourage you to come down into unsupported shavasana and allow the body to integrate. And this should feel pretty sweet. And I'm going to come up and I'm just going to go over some of the things I was talking about as well. Let's just speak to the card that we drew at the beginning of the practice. And whenever you're ready, you can come to a fetal position and up to your seat. And if you're just wanting to lie in unsupported shavasana, then stay there. Just make sure you're warm enough. Okay, so with the chakra Shuddhi, we started at the third eye, tracing the breath from the frontal point to the pineal gland. Okay, so the mantra is Om. And this in itself is a practice. And you can simply do that as a meditative practice. And there are no contraindications for working with this chakra. This is really the chakra that you want to begin working with, the chakra that develops discernment. And it really, really helps with all of the other work with the yogic practice. All right. The other chakras you want to be very, very gentle with. And it is the finding and feeling the physical points in the body is also a practice. It takes time. It takes time to feel those very specific points that I described. So the root chakra, the Muladhara chakra, is connected to the earth. For men, it is out on the perineum behind the scrotum. Okay, so very specific point. Women, it's higher. It's at the back of the cervix. And so while you are focusing on the root chakra, you're going to a very specific internal point. There is no association with the point on the spine for the root chakra. Okay, and then you move up a very little movement to the pubic bone, to the Swadhisthana chakra. The element is water. And so here, this is the first one down low, where you begin to trace from the frontal point to the back point. And if that is challenging, then you just kind of focus and you stay at the front, and you can say sacral chakra, you can say the Bij mantra. So I'm sorry, I didn't say. So it's Om up here. For the root chakra, it is Lam. For the sacral chakra, it's Vam. I love that one, Vam. It just feels really good in my body. Okay, and then you can use the navel center for the third chakra, for the solar plexus. And this one can be a little murky for a lot of people. So be very, very gentle. You might need to place your hands at the front and the back. The mantra here is Ram, Ram. It's not Rum, Ram. And the element is fire. Okay, and solar plexus, right? Fire. And then we move to the energetic heart space. And this one's quite a jump, right? It's a big, it's a lot of movement. So those first three are very close together. And then this one is a little higher up. And so we move right to the center of the heart space. And the element here is air. And the mantra is Yam. Okay, Yam. And then we come to the throat. The element is ether. And the mantra is, hum. It's so funny when you're doing these and nobody's here, nobody's responding, and you're just talking to a camera. The mantra is hum. Okay, and then you go back and you just take your awareness up to the third eye and just kind of still your gaze and bring your practice to a close. You can repeat the mantra Om a couple of times, and the third eye chakra is a connection of all of the elements together. So that's a very simple chakra shuddhi practice. Okay, so I wish we'd chosen a less complex card today for because there's a lot to this card, the yamas, and I feel like I've talked enough today and we've gone through enough. So perhaps what I will do is write about this, and I will do a blog post for you if you're interested. But in a nutshell, these 5 principles, the first one has to do with nonviolence, and that is nonviolence not only in your physical actions, but also your thoughts and your words to self and to others. And then the second one relates very much to the healing of this chakra here, and it has to do with truth. So, and these principles are very, there's so much to them, to each one of them, and understanding them. So the first one is nonviolence, which is a really rough translation. Ahimsa is the Sanskrit word, and then satya, truth. And then the third one is it has to do with, it's asteya. It has to do with, it's literally translated as non-stealing. So it's very much about respecting what is not yours. And there's a lot of discussion that can happen between the third asteya and the fifth one, which is a parigraha, which is non-grasping, non-clinging. And there definitely is a difference, but this is a huge discussion for, a big yogic lesson. The fourth one, brahmacharya, is really about a lot to do with the conservation of the yogic energy. And brahmacharya is often people jump to the association with chastity, but it means so much more than that. And one of the very simple way to think about brahmacharya during the physical yoga practice is, and you may have heard me talk about this before, and that's with the breath. And if you are constantly exhaling through the mouth, there's a lot of energy that's being expelled through the breath. And so in the yogic practice, we try to keep the mouth closed. And so the energy is contained within the body. And so brahmacharya has to do with that, the wasting of energy, really. And so there, of course, there is a connection to the sexual energy as well too, but it's so much bigger than that. So these 5 principles all together are called the yamas, and that was the card that we chose today. So big card, yeah. So I want to wish you well. Have a very restful evening if that's the time of day that you're at. And if you want to talk about anything that I've talked about today, I'm really happy to carry on these chats in the comments below. Okay, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll do a really nice stretch, a really sweet stretch. Okay, take care. Namaste.